Welcome. By now you may have heard about the DragonFire laser system, a British developed and built 55 kilowatt directed energy weapon. It's a sovereign UK capability developed by Domestic Industrial Consortium of MBDA UK, which is responsible for command, control and target tracking systems, Leonardo UK, which provides the advanced beam director and optics technology, Kinetic, which supplies the precision laser source and beam combining technology, and the UK Ministry of Defence's Science and Technology Laboratory, or DSTL for short, which is leading the programme on behalf of the MOD. This is footage of a DragonFire laser system milestone trial, recorded in the Hebrides on 14th of March 2025. The DragonFire laser system was initially designed for the Royal Navy, allowing frigates and destroyers to engage aerial and maritime targets. However, you may not have heard about a second system which DSTL have successfully tested, the HELS, an acronym for High Energy Laser Weapon System, manufactured by Raytheon UK. This is initially cited to be a land-based laser weapon and has already received a performance assessment by the boffins for the Ministry of Defence's Land Laser Directed Energy Weapon Demonstrator Programme. As seen here, this test was conducted at the Radnor Test Range in Presteigne in Wales on 29th October 2024. Both these projects, assuming HELS is adopted, will at some point likely see a joint crossover of its eventual deployed use, with both systems adapted for both land, sea and air. More specifically, as seen here, this HELS version is a relatively compact sized weapon, fitted with a 15 kilowatt class laser. In this footage, the British Army have loaded a palletised HELS connected to its self-contained power needs. It is mounted on the back of a British Army Wolfhound 6x6 armoured vehicle. British Army soldiers are inside the heavily protected Wolfhound interior and are able to target a range of small fast-moving drones using HELS 15 kilowatt class laser. The trial proved to be successful. Raytheon UK has stated the HELS 15 kilowatt class laser is capable of downing larger drones when within the system's target range. Trials have also included the installation of a blighter surveillance system radar, not fitted today, which is specifically designed to detect a range of drone sizes, including nano and larger drones, with larger drones detection range up to 10 kilometers or 6.2 miles. It should be noted the US Army is already testing the HELS and have mounted it to several vehicles, including standard domestic flatbed trucks and Polaris MRZR military off-road vehicles. The US Army is also testing a larger sized HELS with a 50 kilowatt class laser, which is fitted to a Striker armoured fighting vehicle. So where does Ukraine fit in with the development of the British DragonFire laser system, and quite possibly the HELS system? It's a bit of a long answer, but here goes. Well, firstly, the HELS 15 kilowatt laser has already proven to be quite successful under controlled test conditions, with the Americans and the British already shooting down over 2,000 drones between them. It's also had success in hitting mortar rounds. Although detailed specifics of its capabilities are very limited, it is understood it can target drones and incoming mortar rounds at ranges up to 3 kilometers or 1.86 miles. In the UK, as of late 2025, it appears the UK Ministry of Defence is concentrating more on the old British DragonFire laser system. It's fitted with a 55 kilowatt class laser. It is claimed to be accurate enough to hit a £1 coin from a kilometre away. This stated accuracy of course is impressive. The DragonFire system is designed to destroy a range of targets, small, medium and large, and at a greater distance than the HELS 15 kilowatt class laser system. The actual performance data from test fires are, of course, a closely guarded secret, but it's fair to say, based on UK Ministry of Defence released animations, the DragonFire is designed to shoot down unmanned aerial vehicles, missiles, mortar munitions, aircraft and surface craft such as fast attack boats, either manned or autonomous. However, all these targets need to be in visual range of DragonFire's built-in targeting systems of electro-optical camera and second lower power laser for imaging and tracking. The DragonFire target range could conservatively exceed 7 km or 4.35 miles that is currently stated. This would, for instance, put most enemy military helicopters flying at its altitude ceiling within DragonFire range. Military helicopters typically have a maximum operating altitude of around 6 km or 3.72 miles. The DragonFire system itself is designed to be integrated with other defence and offence systems. Any approaching threats will be picked up many miles away by a complex range of UK radar systems on land, in the air and at sea. But critical to the defence of the United Kingdom's armed forces are satellite systems that will link and communicate with the armed forces over vast distances. The Royal Navy, for instance, uses defensive layers to create a defensive bubble around the Queen Elizabeth class carriers, prioritising incoming threats based on its type, distance and speed. The defensive outer layer tracks threats from 250 miles away using Samsung radar. Navy ships such as the Type 45 and the future Type 83 destroyers would immediately launch Sea Viper missiles with a stated range of 70 miles. These reach speeds of Mach 4, destroying the threats in around 83 seconds. The Queen Elizabeth class carrier would launch her F-35B Lightning II fighters as a primary response, armed with AIM-120 advanced medium-range air-to-air missiles, with the latest D variant of an effective range of over 80 miles, travelling at Mach 4. Multiple threats would also be tracked by the ship-based Samsung radar, which automatically assesses and prioritises incoming threats. The new Type 26 frigates will incorporate a new Artisan radar with a range of 200 km and can detect small objects travelling at Mach 3, more than 25 km away. It can track up to 800 objects simultaneously. The middle defence layer would be protected by Type 23 frigates and the future Type 26, firing Sea Scepter missiles with Mach 3 speed. The Sea Scepter missile has a 16-mile plus range, hitting targets under 25 seconds. The UK is also building a Type 31 frigate. It's the smallest of the 3 new class of ships. As a general-purpose frigate, one of its main tasks is the close protection of the British carriers, and will also be armed with Sea Scepter surface-to-air missiles. Within the 16-mile middle defence layer, 4.5-inch Mark 8 naval guns installed on frigates and destroyers can fire upon any enemy craft that falls within the gun's 17-mile range. However, these guns' primary purpose are as gunfire support against land targets. Wildcat HMA-2 helicopters embarked on the destroyers and carrier would launch Sea Venom missiles with a range of 12 miles or 20 km against surface threats such as fast attack craft. The Venom missile, reaching speeds of 1,000 km an hour, will hit most targets within 72 seconds. The Wildcat now also carries the Martlet, or the lightweight multi-role missile, capable of shooting down drones and sinking or disabling small surface vessels. Its effective range is 5 miles. It's at this distance the use of the DragonFire system will be activated. Targets identified in order of threat level will be relayed to the DragonFire imaging and tracking laser. Once the targets are within the system's visual range of around 4.35 miles, DragonFire can immediately engage that threat. The DragonFire laser beam travels at the speed of light, the fastest speed possible, allowing it to hit targets almost instantly, with tests showing it hitting fast-moving drones up to 400 plus miles per hour within seconds, making it a near instantaneous weapon system. We do not yet know the rate of fire. We can, however, make assumptions that if the DragonFire directed energy beam requires 10 seconds in which to neutralise a target, then it's possible there will be a small delay for both recharging and next target acquisition. So possibly a single DragonFire laser system can destroy 4 targets a minute. So any remaining threats, especially from aerial systems such as long-range unmanned aerial attack vehicles or from a large swarm of suicide drones, would by now be entering the inner defensive or last resort layer. Naval ships would at this stage be engaging these enemy drones, missiles and small attack craft with close-in weapon systems, all within a 1 to 5 miles range or 2 to 9 kilometers. DragonFire in support will be constantly firing, recharging and selecting its next target. This could also be the defensive layer where the Hell's 15 kilowatt laser could excel. If adopted on Royal Navy ships, its reduced but very accurate range would strengthen the defence of the last resort layer. So what's next? DragonFire was planned to be fitted to a single Royal Navy destroyer. However, on 26th of March 2025, additional funding was secured from the UK defence budget to accelerate DragonFire's entry into service. 4 ships, all Type 45 destroyers, will be equipped with the system by 2027. The UK Ministry of Defence stated, integration of DragonFire laser will give the destroyers a close-in weapon system complementing the destroyer's current air defence capabilities, 2 rapid-fire 20mm phalanx systems and 2 DS-30B weapon stations with 30mm autocannons per ship. Interestingly, the MOD statement does not say how many DragonFire units will be installed on each ship. It would make sense to install 1 port and 1 starboard, supporting the other close-in weapon systems. If successful, DragonFire will very likely prove cost-effective with a single 10-second laser shot costing £10. The system, for instance, when compared to the 20mm phalanx system, does not require constant reloading or elongated logistic chains to resupply ships with ammunition. The 20mm rounds fired by the phalanx cost around £22 each, and the gun typically fires 100 or more when engaging a target, so the cost savings are obvious. The potential greater saving is when DragonFire, rather than the destroyer's missile armoury, is selected to shoot down drones and enemy missiles. The cost savings will be in their thousands. At this stage, as of early 2026, no announcements with regards to the general adoption or cancellation of Hells on land or at sea has been released. In the future, DragonFire is likely to be significantly improved in both its power and range. The new Type 26 frigate in service with the Royal Navy in 2028 would likely be selected to test DragonFire version 2. A third version, using an ultra-short pulse laser, which generates extremely powerful picosecond duration pulses, vaporizing surfaces, potentially breaking an airborne target apart almost instantly. This would prove effective against very fast-moving missile systems. This system is likely years away and would potentially be installed on Royal Navy Type 83 destroyer, planned to be in service by mid to late 2030s. As for Ukraine, former UK Defence Secretary Grant Shapps advocated for speeding up the development of the DragonFire laser weapon to potentially send it to Ukraine sooner than its planned 2027 operational date. Shapps stated he could see its potential to counter Russian drones. Personally, I would agree with Shapps. It would be a logical step testing the DragonFire system in an actual conflict. Rather, in a controlled testing environment, it would reveal the system's strengths and weaknesses. As already mentioned, the DSTL team have already indicated their ambition to mount a land-based version of DragonFire onto a Wolfhound 6x6 heavily armoured tactical support vehicle. It has a maximum payload capacity of around 5.9 tonnes or £13,000. What we do know is Ukraine has domestically developed a laser weapon called Trizub. This laser is claimed to shoot down aircraft at altitudes exceeding 2 kilometers. If any DragonFire system have already actually been handed to Ukraine, then this would certainly be kept secret, and the live battlefield data would be invaluable. It should also be noted that Ukraine has operated donated Wolfhound 6x6 armoured vehicles since early 2022, and if Ukraine have received a DragonFire system, it won't be a surprise if it's mounted on a Wolfhound. Work is ongoing to reduce the weight and size of the DragonFire unit, especially in the area of its energy demands, which may be met by advancements in flywheel energy storage systems, which uses lighter, high-strength materials like carbon fibre. It can handle many charge-discharge cycles of hundreds of thousands without significant degradation, unlike batteries. A flywheel device stores energy in rotational momentum, which can be operated as an electrical storage by incorporating a direct drive motor generator. Ultimately, the introduction of directed energy weapon systems will change how we fight wars in the near future. It is just a matter of time before these laser weapons are incorporated into another fundamental battlefield changer: drone systems. These technologies combined will develop into powerful, deadly and autonomous weapons able to wage war by use of an almost unlimited power source: stored electricity. Thanks for watching.